It's your time to renew, rebuild, and restore with Rebirth Podcast. Let's go!
It's what you've been waiting for. The Rebirth with your host, Shay Marriott.
Let's go!
And Eli Isabel.
Hey, welcome to the Rebirth Show. It's your boy, Eli Isabel, a.k.a. The South. Got something to say. Happy Monday, family, man. It is 7 o'clock. It is that time, your happy hour, as we do it here on the Rebirth. Tonight, as you can see, Miss Rebirth herself is not with us. She is away handling business for the next couple of weeks. But I have some awesome ladies here with me tonight. They're going to hold it down like car seats, and we're going to make it do what it do, y'all. So tonight, before we get into this awesome show, and I give y'all our topic, I'm going to have these lovely ladies introduce themselves, what they do, why they do it, how you can reach them, and then we're going to get it cracking up in here. To my left, you're right on the screen.
Hey, Rebirth family, friends, and visitors. I'm Monet Floyd. I'm the owner of Grace Center Mental Health Services located in Smyrna, Delaware. We are accepting new clients. We work with families, women, children, couples, it all. We work.
Oh, snap. I heard that.
You can find us at Grace Center LLC on IG. Subscribe, follow us. I'm excited to be here, Eli.
Oh, thank you. Listen, you two have some big shoes to fill tonight, and I don't expect nothing less. To my right, your left on screen. Holla at the people.
I'm about to say welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
What's good, family? I'm no new person here. This is like my second home. It's your girl Nelly Janelle. I'm here representing Dope Therapy LLC. Yes, Dope, DOPE, and Dope is an acronym standing for Determined to Own My Power and Evolve.
Wow.
That's good.
Say it then.
It can be found at live at dopetherapylife.com. We are currently not accepting new clients. God has been blessing.
Amen.
All right.
We are currently swamped, but just give us a couple of weeks, get some stuff together. We'll be back out there accepting new clients. But we work with adults, couples, individual therapy, and group therapy as well.
Any drug and alcohol therapy, since you call it dope therapy.
And it's funny because getting the name credentialed, it was like, wait, dope. I had to go through all this explaining, and Delaware was like, wait, hold on. But we do alcohol, drug and alcohol therapy as well.
I'm going to be looking for a job in a little bit. I start my my CADC classes tomorrow night.
Right, okay.
So I'm about to throw a couple of other letters behind the name.
Come through. I
And
love it.
you know, I drink a lot, so I guess I got to figure out how to save myself.
Yes.
But listen, y'all, welcome to the show, man. Rebirth family, Philly Jails 95.3. We're in the building, man. Listen, tonight, we're going to talk about something that I think we all deal with, whether it's in a romantic relationship, whether it's with our friends. But we're going to talk about, are you operating in lazy love? So I want you ladies to put that on your mental and kind of formulate, you know, how we're going to attack this topic right here. But before we get into that, got a couple of things we're going to get to. I wish I could hear my theme music, but it's okay. That's why I missed the microphones. So welcome to the South Got Something to Say segment tonight. Y'all, tonight I want to get into something to me. It doesn't bother me, but I think we need to discuss it because I think black men get a bad rap as it is. So I like to shine light on positive black men when I can. Tonight I want to talk about Super Bowl champion, 7-time Pro Bowler, one of the most richest players in the NFL. Now, your brother's been on the downslope the last 2 seasons, but I want to talk about Russell Wilson. If you're not familiar with who he is married to R&B pop singer Ciara. They have 2 children together, and he's also bonus dad to little Future Hendrix. What's Future's real last name? Who knows? It don't matter. He's also awesome stepdad to that young man. And one of the things I hear a lot when it comes to this brother, and this is outside of football, he's corny.
Is that right?
He gets labeled with this all the time, even by other black men. And where he gets labeled for, because he does the right thing. He loves his woman. He shows outwardly affection. He's a great father. By all accounts, what we can see, he's a great father. He's a great stepdad. He's always positive, and he gets labeled corny. Whereas her baby father, Future, 8 kids with 7 different women. And you know what? To each his own. That's his life. That's how it is. But I want to talk about how we in our community celebrate ignorance. I feel like, especially when it comes to black men, again, we get a bad rap as it is. We're not in the home. We don't marry black women. We get money. We take off. We do all of these things. Here is a brother that's doing everything that all the black women complain about, and yet he's corny. Help me figure that out.
So is he corny just to the men? Or
women too, because he's not street enough.
Really?
I've heard black women say that. He's a little corny. I wouldn't date him.
I'll take him.
But ladies, give me your thoughts on, do you know who Russell Wilson is? And I don't mean that like in a disrespectful way.
Don't.
Okay, well, you kind of got the gist of what I'm saying. What do you think about how he's, how I'm saying he's viewed, which he's viewed widely in that way? And he would only have Sierra, because he has money. Not because he's not a great man, and he's not a great father. He's not a man of high moral character.
Yeah. I just want to highlight what you said about us praising those, in my words, the bad guys, and just glorifying dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? And so you made some very valid points about how, because he's a stand-up guy and he chose to marry and chose to take care of kids +1, how is that corny? Versus
he's not considered a real N-word.
Yeah. And so I think it's just a glorification of dysfunction.
I mean, I think that's the basis of society now. You know, everybody's functioning in dysfunction. And they think that, that's okay. But I'm cool with corny.
Normalize it. Give me corny.
Give me corny.
Do you think, based upon we're all out in the world and we all work with people of different ethnicities and stuff like that, do you think our community, because I don't hear white people call successful, non-violent white men with 1,000 kids on the side, they don't talk bad about them. You don't hear, and there are white men with other kids. Tom Brady got a baby mama. Never hear not one word about him. There are Asian men. There are Indian men. They the worst in the hood. They love young black girls to come in there. Like, they always trying to trick off. My point is, why do we celebrate that, and why are we the only ones that label each other as such, like in our community? What's that about? How do we get away from that? Maybe that's the question. How do we get away from that?
I think we need to change our perspective, right? And I think we need to become healthy ourselves. And that in turn, we will have healthier families. In turn, we'll have healthier communities. And in turn, we will have higher standards, a higher moral compass, different expectations. And so I think it starts with changing ourselves, our views, our perspectives, our values, consciously making a decision that dysfunction is not the way. So I think it's a conscious decision, and it starts with self.
I had a co-host a while back, some years ago, and he dropped something really, really phenomenal on me. And he said, women, we set the standard.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he said we set
Speak
the
on it.
standard.
Who is that smart young man?
The atmosphere, the home.
Who has said that?
Yes. Yeah, my co-host, he was the bomb back in the day. Yeah, he was. He's good now too. Don't get it twisted. No, he's good now. No, he's still good now. I'm talking about Eli, if you don't know. But no, he dropped something that was really good. And it's always stuck with me. That women, we set the precedence when it comes to what's acceptable and what's not. And I think once the women begin to heal and really begin to grow and understand their worth, they'll set a higher precedent so that it's not looked at as corny, but that's looked at as what's required.
Yeah. In other cultures, when they are thinking about dating, they look at individuals as an asset or liability. We don't take the time as a culture to consider that. We base the relationship off of love. right? Which we're getting into tonight.
That part.
Right?
Amen.
And
Amen.
so I think if we would, again, if it starts in the home and starts with self, that your mate should be the one that's going to compliment you in various ways.
Right.
And that we just can't get married off of love, or we can't get married because it feels good. But he needs to be an asset versus a liability.
Ooh,
Right.
all right.
That's facts.
Come on now, Lahoma.
That's facts.
Don't do that. All right. I'm gonna. Nelly, you got anything else you want to say on this before we
it's
wrap
just
it?
funny that she said that because actually my mentor and I was talking about that the other day. How the third world countries, they the arranged marriages.
Absolutely.
They're based upon assets.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas we are the ones fooled by it's love.
And what it looked like.
Right, and what it looks like, and then we the jacked up ones, and the ones that have the arranged marriages and they're looking at assets, they're thriving and they're surviving. But the love factor is not like a really prominent thing there, but for us it is. And it seems like we're not working out.
So what you're saying before we wrap up on the South Got Something to Say segment, I need to be asking for 4 cows and 3 chickens.
There you go.
On my daughter before she gets married.
Facts.
See what they got over there, the
Yes.
assets.
Yes.
Okay, I need that dowry.
What you
okay?
working with.
Right, what you working
From a
with?
whole nother perspective, what you working with.
not just sexual. Not sexual. Right.
All right, y'all. That concludes the South Got Something to Say for tonight. Thank you, ladies, for chiming in. Let's get into our topic for tonight, man. Are you operating in lazy love? And I don't just mean with your mates. I mean with your friends, with your family. Are you operating in lazy love? But we're going to kick it off right now with talking about your mates or your past mates if you're single. When we get to a certain point in a relationship, do we get lazy? Why do we stop giving what we gave in the beginning to get that person? Talk about it, ladies.
I think it comes a level of comfortability. Is that a real word? It's not, right?
It's one tonight.
Okay, we're going to make it one tonight, right? I think it comes to a level of comfortability, and then we forget the effort we put in to get them.
Yeah.
My old past used to always say, what you did to get them, you got to keep doing to keep them. And I think that's like so true. But we get caught up, we get comfortable, and feel like the work is not necessary anymore. But I'm quick to tell my clients, implement a structured schedule. And they're like, well, they got a schedule to have sex? Yes, you do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got a schedule to have sex. You got a schedule to go on dates. You got a schedule time away from the children because it's important. If not, we get comfortable and then we get lazy and then we get into the unrequited love.
That's
With you on
good.
that. Yeah.
And that was the same path I was going to get into as well. And I think it's on both parts,
Absolutely.
right? When I worked at Christiana Hospital, I was always intrigued with older couples coming in, and so I would always ask them, what's keeping you guys together?
Mm-hmm.
And one wise couple told me because we didn't get tired at the same time.
There we go. I heard that too. I
Right?
heard that too.
And so that thing stuck with me because if we're both tired, then that means the relationship is fragile and we may just give up at the same time. And so if I'm comfortable and my mate is not comfortable, we still in the game.
Yes, sir.
And vice versa. But if we both get comfortable and lazy, come on, Eli.
It's
Where
a
we
wrap.
I think to add to that, Monique, real quick, I'm sorry, but there has to be a willingness to work. Although we might be comfortable, although we might be a little, burnt out or whatever, because life be life for everybody, but there still has to be a willingness to do the work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you may need to be lifted up by your partner this week, then you got to still be willing to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not allow pride or ego to overstep that and then it become an issue.
For sure.
I think that most couples, we're so excited and so in love with the idea of being in love and getting married.
Say that.
That whole process of getting married, the ceremony, the people we're inviting, who's going to see me in my beautiful dress, my 3-carat ring, all of these things that we get excited about. And then once all of the pomp and circumstances are gone, now you have to really learn how to live with that person.
There you go.
And I think that we're so caught up in getting to that point that we haven't prepared to be at that point once we're there. So and it's easy to become lazy. I think, especially for men, I can, well, of course, my man, that's the perspective I'm coming from. I was about to say, I'm speaking both of y'all, but never mind. I'm going to stay in my lane. I think for us, we get complacent, especially if we have somebody who's been catering to us. It becomes an expectation. So we feel like we don't have to do the things that we were doing. Like, where are the flowers? Where are the dates?
Yeah.
And I think the longer you with somebody, honestly, I think that those things you really have to pay attention because they will die And before you know it, you're like roommates.
Yeah.
And you're sharing this property, you're sharing these children, but it's just like you are roommates. And that's something, if you're not cognizant, it will happen. And before you know it, you're so far into that scenario within your relationship, it's hard to come back out of it.
Yeah. And you made me think of something, Eli, like who's holding you accountable? I know when I got married the first time, I was very intentional about who was my bridesmaids, because these were going to be individuals that I felt comfortable enough confiding in me and that was going to uphold my marriage and my relationship when it got difficult. And so if I had my homie to the right that I felt enough trust that I can talk to them about my relationship, they can hold me accountable and be like, listen, Mo, you need to pull up.
Right.
Like, it's you, it's not him, or talk to him in this manner, or do this. But they just wasn't going to agree with me or side with me just because I had this complaint. So who's holding you accountable to make sure that you don't fall deep into that lazy love?
Go ahead now.
No, I was going to ask, but is it the responsibility of your friends or family members to hold you accountable when it comes to marriage?
I don't think it's as a friend, it's a responsibility of a friend to tell my friend or the friend the truth.
Gotcha.
And speaking to what Eli said about we get excited about the ceremony and the wedding, it's more than just friends and family coming together. It's more than just my high school friend coming alongside of me just to wear the bridesmaid dress.
Right.
I mean, I had a childhood friend who decided not to come to my wedding because she wasn't in the wedding. I didn't love her any less, but she didn't hold at that particular place in my life to be in my wedding along the side of this sacred ceremony.
Okay.
The reason why I asked, I want to add to that story real quick, is that because I had a client, he's a male client, and him and his wife divorced, but he was like really snapping that his family wasn't there for him when they were going through the separation. However, the truth of the matter was he never went to the family. He never reached out to the family for help until the divorce was finalized. Now it's the resentment. Now it's, yes, y'all fault.
Yeah.
But
Blame game.
there you go. You know what I mean? So I knew the answer, but I want you to put it out there because to me it's just like you gotta want that
Yes.
before it's too late.
No, I agree, and I think there's a level of accountability that needs to take place. I think so. Let me. Two things I'm going to say first. Here's one thing I know about people: when things are great, and I just saw this recently. If I hit the lottery, guess what my family's going to say? Oh, we hit the lottery. If I file for bankruptcy,
we tried, Eli. That's right.
if I file for bankruptcy, they're like, oh, they ain't handling his business. He's over there filing Chapter 7 on it. You know what I mean? Like, you on your own then. I think that we have to be careful of only dealing with people who show up for our successes.
For sure.
Like, if you're going to show up when I'm raining, then show up when it's raining.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to be mindful of that. And also, there is a level of accountability that needs to take place with your friends. That's what I hear some people say. You should, married couples should only hang out with married couples. For me, I don't want to do, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But one thing, I've been going to church.
I've been watching.
3 Sundays in a row.
Come on here.
I've been more this year than I've been in 3 years.
Is that why it snowed like that?
Anyway.
Oh my.
So, and I said this maybe on the show a week or two ago, which it kind of stands true. To me, it stands true. He said if you hang around with people, if you hang out with people who are seeking God, then you're more likely to bump into God.
Come on, that's good.
So if you hang around people who are positive about marriage and encouraging about marriage, then your marriage has a better chance of working out when you're going through those hard times. So I do think it's who you surround yourself with. Now, unless you've completely checked out, then God himself can tap you on the shoulder and be like, listen, my son, you need to. Even with women, because when a woman's done, she's done.
Right.
The Lord cannot convince her.
Lord, is that you?
You gonna question the big fella.
If it's you, send me a sign.
Eli. Don't
send me a sign.
So, but if you haven't completely checked out, then there's always a chance.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah,
I think love takes creativity, though.
Okay.
Right?
absolutely.
For us to be creative and to be open to the newness, be open to the dullness, be open to even the staleness of it.
Come on.
It sure
Right?
be stinking
And
sometimes.
even in the staleness, right? Having the hope and the belief that you could move through that staleness.
Yeah.
It's good because I always tell my couples, y'all gotta turn, y'all gotta bend together in the turn.
That's good.
You gotta
Like riding a motorcycle.
Together. There you go.
You can't be
Yeah.
going that way and I'm going to the curb.
There it
It's
is.
going down.
Y'all gotta be able to bend together in that turn.
That's good.
And that's them still moments. That's them dry moments. That's them, the moments when it's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Finding new creativity.
For sure.
And if you're not lazy in love, if you are in tune to your partner, then you understand that you have to try to grow. We all grow at different rates, but you have to grow. You have to, even if you're not growing as a person for yourself, you have to be in tune with your mate moving forward.
There you go.
Very good.
And you have to understand, this is one thing I learned. I had to learn. Like, I had to learn that, and we've talked about this too, Nels, back in the day. Like, if what you needed in 2005, you don't need from me in 2024.
Come on.
Yeah.
And I think most men, for the most part, I don't think we understand that. I think that, I said this to you and it worked. I was making love to you this way. It worked. And now that doesn't work for you anymore. And it's worked for all the other 20 million women I had. Now all of a sudden this ain't good enough for you. And we're stubborn in our ways and we're stubborn in understanding, I'm the man of this house. You go with the flow, man. This is how it works. And we're stubborn in learning, trying to learn our mate. And I think that holds us back. And that is a prime example of being lazy. You don't want to do the work to figure out because the woman can even tell you, this is what I require now. But in our mind, like, no, you don't require that because I know what I did to get you. I know how I used to put it down. I'm still going to do it that way.
Yeah.
It takes a level of open-mindedness.
Absolutely.
Also.
In the communication, that's what's coming down to is the communication. I'm a huge advocate for communicating, especially during sex. And I say that because, tonight you could like it one way, but tomorrow is tomorrow. And you might want it another way, but because you laid it down like that last night, you think that, okay, tonight it's going to be the same. But it's important to communicate because we're cyclical.
Yeah.
We're people, we change, ever changing.
Let me find out Nelly's a sex therapist.
Among other things.
Right.
Find out.
Lord have mercy.
But is it hard
it's
for
true.
women to tell? Has it been hard for y'all in your lifetime, in your adult life? Not even in the current situation, but in the past. Have you ever, or has it been hard to tell a person that you're not satisfied sexually anymore?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And so it has been hard. Well, how did you approach it, or did you just let it be what it was?
Let it be. Yeah, it took me a while to come into my womanhood and my my sensual self, to be comfortable in that. It's something I had to learn on my own, and so it took me a while to be comfortable with that and to be proud of that and to be bold in that.
I've
The sex therapist says.
I gotta
No, that's just because Eli knows me too well. But no, I've always been very vocal, personally, but very vocal. He over there smiling. No, my issue's been, I think I'm gonna make up a word, my vocalism.
You coming with the words tonight?
I'm coming with it today,
Trying to
right?
get some
Making
added
it
to the
up.
dictionary by the end of the year.
No, it's been a little bit for some in the over the years, it's been too much or too intimidating or.
Oh, you have.
For me, yeah,
Okay.
for me being very vocal about my needs, my desires, what I like, sensuality or whatever. To some men, it's kind of like, well, hold on, like, but how you gonna know what I like if I'm not telling you? Or if you're doing it this way, I'm like, yeah, I like that, or I don't like that, or I prefer it like this, and it comes off sometimes a little intimidating to some men.
I would think a man would want that because if I care about you and I want you to be happy and pleased and not go elsewhere, I'm taking notes. Okay,
Do men really think that forward though?
No, I didn't at one point in time. I'm not going to sit here and act like I was always that person. But at a certain age, you should be growing to the point where, because when we're in our 20s, we're terrible. 30s too, I'm going to say. We're terrible communicators. And there's some dudes that's my age that are still bad communicators. Mm-hmm. I think that we've just been naturally bred to be that way because we've been told to suck it up our whole lives.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And then we get in these relationships, and now we're supposed to be able to express ourselves. When you've had women your whole life, and men, stop crying, stop being a little bitch. Would you suck it up? You hear that shit your whole life. So when do you get an opportunity to express how you feel and not be ridiculed by a woman? Oh, girl, he crying, Yeah. So that stops a lot of men from expressing themselves. But at a certain point, accountability. You have to take accountability for yourself and your relationships. And if these things that your woman or your mate, your man is telling you that I require more, this is what I need from you, then only a fool does not listen. Because guess who's listening?
Yeah.
Craig at the job listening.
There you go.
And
That
Tony,
work
the
husband is
barbershop.
listening.
There you go.
I'm telling you.
And Peter, who does my car.
That part.
I used to be Craig at the job back in the day.
Right, you got
Oh, he
right.
don't do what? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start doing everything you say Craig don't be doing. Everything your husband don't be doing.
Peter,
He-
gonna
he-
say, I was waiting for you to get rid of that cornball.
There you go.
no, I want you to keep him, but you just don't break up with him, cause I don't want all your emotional shit. Cause you got a lot of shit going on. Don't break up with him.
Watch
But
it from afar.
Yeah, right.
yeah, but keep it going. I'm gonna encourage y'all to stay together. But I
see you on the side,
we can
huh?
dab over though.
Right.
And it's the same way because Sheila is watching too,
Uh-huh.
and Felicia,
Absolutely.
and Patricia.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? They all are keeping
And she
eye
bringing
and
lunch.
keeping check.
Bringing lunch every day.
Yes.
Because she won't make you lunch.
Yes.
That
Thought I'd bring you a little something.
that work wife.
That's a real.
Have
thing.
either one of you ever had a work husband?
No.
I have.
What that look like? Were you single when you had the work husband?
I was dating.
Okay.
But like I wasn't married. I wasn't
Okay.
in a relationship. So it was cool though. Because it was legit just at work. Like I didn't have
Did
the
he want
responsibility either. He did. But at that time when I was younger, my younger years, I liked the idea of it. So I kept it at that.
So you did what my friend Greg coined this phrase years ago. He says women are good at keeping the interested. Might not really want you,
I like
Yeah.
that.
but if they know that you are interested in them and they can
Right.
be on the receiving end of your interest, they'll do it.
Yeah.
That's some cold shit, ladies.
Yeah.
Why y'all do
I
that?
co-sign that. I co-sign that.
It's the truth. It's the
Boy,
truth.
taking notes.
It's
Yes.
the truth. I think honestly that happens because women, I think men deal with it too because we have an ego as well.
For sure.
We do. So if we know the dude at work is interested, but we gonna feed off of that. That's gonna be. We like to be desired, just like men do. So we're gonna come in smelling extra good, cooking extra food, and we will. But men do it, and not saying it's right or wrong. But no, it's not right. But not saying it's because men do it tit for tat. But we do it the same way men do.
Let me say this: if I don't really want her, but she's interested in me, I'm not playing around with her because she's gonna be a problem. Cause if it gets down to it, if I'm not attracted to her, and it gets down to it, and she at this age, if I'm not physically attracted to you, nothing happens down here. I'm just in my 20s, it's just on GP. It was like, hey, you want to do it? All right, let's do it. But now I need that. I need more. So I'm not gonna play with a woman that I'm not interested in. That's too much drama.
That's great. We was just talking about that today. I said it's so. I've run into so many men now that actually express that they have to be emotionally or mentally into you or stimulated in order to gain an erection. And I was just like, growing up, you never heard a man say that.
Yeah, very true.
And so for me hearing that in this day and age, I'm like, well, what happened? What was, it's a good thing, don't get it
Yes.
twisted,
Yeah.
but it's just
Yeah.
like, wow. Men are really vocal about that now.
Yeah.
Whereas before, it's just like, nah, you got a hole. What's good?
We want them all.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I was just saying, I'm impressed with the men nowadays. That's what's up.
So we're not all bad. We're growing.
No, I'm not.
You
That's
are
what's up.
growing.
Kudos to
Yes.
you.
Mo,
Okay.
what you got?
No, I was just thinking when you said that it's trouble for a man to mess with a woman, and it's both ways because it had me kind of think about some situations when I was younger. It's the same thing. Men could be very possessive, very territorial, and so you may want him for one thing, and he has a whole nother agenda, and that's not being communicated, and then you have a whole mess. And so it's both ways. Know thyself.
Right.
Know thyself. That's
So-
what it comes down to, right? And be able to communicate that.
Yeah. Do women, though, because we know how men can be, and women too, can be a little crazy and possessive. Do women, when they see, just say, for example, you have a guy that's just kicking out all this money and he's doing, because he's feeling you, but you're not really, but yeah, he's buying me clothes, he's buying me bags. For the fact of not forsaking the things he's doing for you, do we just go with the flow and not tell him, you know what, Craig, I'm not really feeling you. However, I like what you do for me. Can a woman have that conversation with a dude?
They absolutely can.
Will they?
Will they? Right. Some women will, some women won't. Depending on where the individual is. Funny enough, I just had this conversation with a client of mine today, and she's learning her worth. And
What's her name? No, I'm playing. You know, Delaware's small. We might know her. I'm playing. We all want to help her. Listen, LaShonda, if that's you out there, Monet's talking about, it's all right, girl. Look at me. Look at me.
Right.
Where's my camera?
Call us number.
It's all right. Yeah, we'll help you out, sis. You might need a male perspective, too. Monet's a woman only. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But we were talking about just communicating because she's not feeling him, but he is sort of courting her. And so it feels good, obviously. And so we just talked about being able to communicate at each level where she is. That way he won't be in the dark. And really being directed and guided by that moral compass, right? And so if you feel like this is wrong, stop it. It's wrong. Stop. But, it's tough. It's tough to have those conversations when the flesh is being fed and it feels good. We all want to feel needed. We all want to feel loved. We all want to feel adorned, connected. And so when that's going on, and if you're not a healthy person, and if you're not true to yourself, it's difficult to have those conversations.
Right. No, go ahead.
Can I share one thing I learned more recently? What I've learned that during the dating phase, it is important. That is the phase you have those difficult conversations.
For sure.
We think that's a phase that we take IG pictures, we travel the world,
Say
we
that,
look
no,
good,
yeah.
we dress alike, back in the
Negative.
90s.
I hate that.
Ain't
but go
nobody
ahead.
talking about nothing important.
Right. But we don't utilize that dating time to really have those hard conversations because there's a risk that it might not work.
Yes.
So let's keep going with the, let's date, let's take pictures, let's post on social media. And it's like, no, that's when you have the hard conversation. So when you do say, I do, or you do make that commitment, now y'all can live.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've had that. Now there's a clearer understanding.
Good stuff.
But those things never happen in the beginning. Like the
Right.
things that we really need to ask a person when we're considering dating them, we see the hips, we see the butt, we see the pretty face. But have you been touched by your uncle?
Come on.
Have you been beat by another dude? Like these are things that women never tell us, and men too.
I'm about to say, and men.
There's some dudes out here been sexually molested, and they'll never tell you that. And you wonder why they want to do all this old crazy.
Yeah.
They want to pour honey on you and light it, with a match and all kind of shit. You be like, what the fuck happened to you? Who poured hot honey on you when you was 5?
Very true.
But I'm making light of it, but
No, it's true.
but we never get beyond where you work at, what kind of car you got your own place. We never really dive beyond that. I think that sets us back too.
Absolutely. It was something I was thinking about. I'm newly engaged, and and we talk about everything. It's really a different a relationship. And so, but we never even talk about, like, what's your health status? Like, do you have any health conditions?
What's your
chronic
mental
or
health
acute?
status?
No one's gonna tell you that. If I really like you, and my prostate is the size of an orange, I'm not telling you. I'm probably not going to tell you because I want you to ride that out with me once I have to start getting that treatment. I'm just saying, dude,
But
people
like
don't
you
do
said,
that.
Having those conversations
That's
in the
true.
beginning, in the dating phase, to see if I want to sign up for this.
There you go.
I
want
agree.
to sign up for this.
That's important.
Absolutely.
Wow. So, ladies, we are getting close to the end. If you could give our viewers and listeners just a tip or two, something maybe you live by or something that may have come to you tonight. How do we prevent becoming lazy within our relationships? Friendships, intimate relationships, whatever. Anything we want to share with the people about how we can prevent that from happening?
I would say, I guess maybe 3 points is coming to mind. Take time to do some introspection, one. The second one is be open to grow. And then the third one is, I heard T.D. Jakes say something and it stuck with me. This is a while ago. And he said sometimes God will put us in positions where we are the teacher and then the next season we're the student. And so really having a humble posture and being fluent and being flexible enough to be able to be the student in one season and be the teacher in the next.
And go to P. Diddy parties in the other season. I mean, is that allegedly?
The message was good, though.
The message was great. I'm not killing the messenger. I'm just saying, he's a well-rounded person. He can give you that. He can
What's
give you
your
that.
3 points, Eli?
And then I'm the host. I'm going last. Don't try to.
I know. I was trying to divert you.
All right, go ahead, Nelly.
Wow.
Take your time, Jenny.
Not-
I think we
not
got
the-
we got a little second.
Not the
What
P
time-
Diddy
what o'clock?
parties. Not the P Diddy parties. Stay away from the P Diddy parties.
Or not, depending on what you're into.
Stay away and don't swallow either.
Woo.
So
Child.
Is that another segment?
Ooh, child.
my 3 points is I think something that we started with
Not too.
earlier, that love is a
Some
muscle.
wine.
Love is a
Go ahead.
muscle, but the more you exercise it, the stronger it grows. And I think
Yes.
that alone is, that speaks volumes.
Absolutely.
But I would definitely reiterate and stress the importance of expressing and knowing and understanding the love of self first. I give so much credit to the best therapist in the world, William Shakespeare. We know he's not a therapist, but he said the best phrase ever: above all else, to thine own self be true.
Yeah.
And that's one of the worst things that we do. We are the best pretenders.
Wow.
We really are as people. We are the best pretenders. I mean, I think we win the Grammys when it comes to that. But when you're able to express that love muscle and really come to understand it within self, you'll be able to give it more freely and be able to receive. Be willing to teach. Be willing to teach. Be willing to learn. Be teachable, and then be open to whatever comes as the experience goes on.
Yeah, yeah. So to piggyback off of that, for me, communication. Like communication is a thing that makes a relationship go, and lack thereof is the thing that makes a relationship die. So if you cannot communicate, you and your partner are poor communicators, or one of you is okay, but the other one is not, you're gonna have a problem. And I say that because, like we said earlier, as we matriculate through those relationships, friendships, relationships, and we don't tell people what we need differently from them, or we don't hold them accountable, because it's okay to hold your friends and your mate accountable when you saying this is what I need and it doesn't happen or doesn't change. Those things are okay. It doesn't necessarily mean we're arguing. It means that I need something different, and I'm coming to you as my mate to give that to me. So, and that all starts and ends with communication. So if you're out there and you're struggling to communicate, again, we're all advocates of therapy, whether it be individual, whether it be as a couple. Do what you have to do to figure things out, because the longer you stay disinterested, the easier it is to stay disinterested. And you could be in a house with a person, laying beside them every night, and there's nothing there. You are literally roommates, and you've let it come to that point. So I would say communication. Listen, this has been an awesome show tonight, man.
Yeah.
I want to thank these two lovely ladies for joining me. If you would like to sponsor, do a commercial, you can shoot your own commercial. We'll play it, or you can tell us how you want it to be presented. It's gonna cost you. It might cost you a little, might cost you a lot, but it's gonna cost you. And just so you know, we're on Spotify, we're on iHeart, anywhere where you can get your streaming, anywhere where you stream podcasts or music, we're there. We're on YouTube. People will know about your business. So if you want to work with us in any way from that perspective, hit us up at rebirthu.com, and we'll get back to you. We'll negotiate with you. Yeah, it ain't gonna be cheap because we negotiating, but we will negotiate with you, man. And because we support businesses, we support people who look like us. We want to see you be great. We want to see you do your thing, and in turn, we expect the same from y'all. We're all the little engine that could until we get it. So Absolutely. We have to make sure we look back and pull other people along. So if you want to rock with us, man, from an advertising perspective, again, hit us up at rebirthu.com. Ladies, Janelle, Monet, look at that. Janelle Monet. Y'all need your own podcast. The Janelle Monet podcast. And she couldn't sue y'all.
Right.
Because that's y'all name. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate you both.
Thank you for inviting me.
Nelly, you know what it is.
Of course, always.
You got to moxie it up every once in a while. Mo, thank you. Can I tell you I'm proud of you, because I didn't know you were doing all these wonderful things. I heard through the grapevine, but I didn't know. I knew you from back in the day, and I'm like, damn. And just hearing you speak tonight, I want to just give you your props. Very knowledgeable. You're doing your thing. I'm proud of you, sis. Black women in business, black entrepreneurs, man. Listen, we are the Rebirth. Happy Monday to you all. Thank you, and we will see you next week. Peace.